What's happening? This is your OG Eddie Lee. I'm definitely in the house. I want to drop this story. Now, I didn't anticipate that the amount of time that I done would have me feel afraid to be back out in society. I had no idea. After learning how cautious I had became and how I felt being out in the opening area like that and not being able to use my peripheral vision and swivel my head in all the directions I needed to be able to use it to make sure I could keep like a vision on what's going on around me, coming at me, right? I got released on October the 16th, 1978. And I remember after arriving home to the same place my family and I was living before I got arrested and convicted, which was the Orange Grove Housing Projects community. My family and I lived at 555 Apartment B, North Franklin Street. North Franklin Street, the part of North Franklin Street that we lived on was at the corner of Earl and North Franklin Street. North Franklin Street, Forest North, the further it went was North Franklin and Bloodgood. And then it was North Franklin and Earl. And once you get past North Franklin and Earl Street, a block or two, it started turning into basically South Franklin Street, or maybe northwest or southeast or something of that nature. But I remember being inside the home. It was like my room looked at the same way it was when I left. That day I left, that day that the detectives came and picked me up, shortly after I got out of school and got home on the public school bus that drops students off that lived in my area, my family area of the housing projects. I wasn't home 40 minutes before the detectives came and they talked with my mother, and this detective gonna tell he asked my mother, what time you have supper ready? My mom said between 5 and 6. It was close to 3 o'clock at the time. He told my mom he would have me home before supper was ready. I wouldn't miss supper. Looked my mother in her face and told her that big ass goddamn lie, right? It took me 25 months and 9 days to get back home. I felt almost like Dorothy, a male version of Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, right? It took years for me to realize, but I had been watching The Wizard of Oz for years, ever since the late 60s. And I knew I think it was a tornado came through Kansas and something fell and hit Dorothy on the head, but I didn't know Dorothy had a concussion, and everything everything that took place after she hit her head was like an illusion, like a dream. It never really happened. And come to find out, all the characters in The Wizard of Oz, once Dorothy woke up in Oz, was related to her in some form of way. That's how I felt. I felt I had laid down in my bunk and I laid down in my bunk for 25 months and 9 days. Well, let me rephrase that. I laid down in my bedroom, on my bed, for 25 months and 9 days, and I woke up and I was home. But that wasn't how it happened. Within that 25 months and 9 days, I had been to the Mobile County Youth Center. I had been to the Mobile County Jail. I had been to the city jail, Mobile City Jail. I had been back to the Mobile County Jail, and I had been to Cubic Correction Facility and back to Mobile County Jail. So to do all that, to cover all that time and the places that I was at, let me know that it wasn't no damn illusion. I didn't just lay down and wake up 25 months and 9 days later. Okay. The first young lady I met her in December of 1978, which I met her almost 2 months after being unleashed back into society. I like saying the word unleashed because what the Alabama State penal system didn't understand, they didn't release me, they unleashed me, because I came out them gates with a determined to not to go back, especially not to go back for taking things that don't belong to me. The only time I can see myself visiting that same situation is somebody tried to hurt me. It doesn't matter where I was, who I was with. If somebody tried to hurt me and I had an opportunity to stop them or reverse it, I would do that. So I was ready to serve time again if I had to damn stop someone from hurting me. All right. I stopped seeing the young lady, I want to say, in March, right? Now, in order to see her, I had to catch the bus out to the city of Pritchard. My family lived in the city of Mobile. So I had to catch a bus to the city of Pritchard to spend time with her. And after spending time with her, periodically she would get on the bus with me and come from Pritchard to the city of Mobile into the Orange Grove Housing Projects community with me. Okay, I still didn't have no car. I didn't have a bicycle. I wasn't connected with nobody that had no car. So a lot of what I was doing, I was using the bus and my feet, right? So I had this next door neighbor. I knew them before I got arrested. Matter of fact, I had been knowing them ever since 1973. Okay, it's 1979 and now, and it's the damn era of disco. And disco is hot, man. It's so much music came out in the disco era that I love disco music, right? I like the clothes, I like the dance moves, I like them psychedelic dance floors and them flashing neon lights, those glow strobe lights, those regular globe lights. I was into all that. So my next door neighbor, which was roughly 5 years older than me, he had one of them old schools, which it wasn't really old school back then. He had an Oldsmobile 98. We're in 79, so if I had to guess, I would say his Oldsmobile was like a 73 or 74. It was like a land yacht, right? And he said, my man, we need to get you out of these projects and take you somewhere where you could damn enjoy yourself. I didn't know if I wanted to hang out with him because I was still trying to figure out who was friend and who was foe after I got out. I never had no problem with that guy or his entire family. Matter of fact, I had mad love for his family, his mother and his dad, his biological father. And I was cool with the siblings, but I still was leery about going to hang out with them. But I did, right? We hit that damn Interstate 10. We came off Interstate 10 into this long road, and when we reached this long road, it was a club standing up on stilts. Part 2 coming. Now them stilts supposed to be made this club more hurricane proof, more flood proof. But anybody in their right goddamn mind know when that wind and rain come, it ain't no such thing as 100% proof, weather proof, hurricane proof, tornado proof. Nah, it just don't work like that. So, man, we walked into this spot and it was like nothing I'd never seen in my whole life. During our ride to get to the spot, I would say it took us about 30 minutes. You know, we was drinking various wines. I had a bottle of Thunderbird. They were drinking some Red Rooster 21. And we had smoked some weed. So when I got out of his car, I was high and I was ready to go. Man, we walked into that atmosphere, all them strobe lights was blinking and spinning around from the ceiling, hanging down, them strobe lights. And it was black people everywhere and they was having a good time. I'm talking about the Arrowin, that group called La Chick or La Cheek or whatever. They did Freak Out, Good Times, and a couple other hot songs. They music was jamming. You had Regina Bell playing that. Ring My Bell. You had that one song talking about some disco duck. Man, I danced so hard, right? You could compare me to the Native Americans and those Africans. You know, the Native Americans, they would sit at that damn fire, right? They would put that makeup on their face like they ready to go to war. They would smoke that peace pipe and they would dance so long in one place, and during the whole time they was doing it, they had their hands in position and they looking up at the sky. It's like they had left Earth, went into orbit, and they was in the spiritual world. Okay, the Africans had the same ability to do what the Native Americans was doing. I don't remember if the Africans was drinking some kind of portion of what they was doing, but they used to set the fire certain tribes, and they would dance right there, and they would look up to the sky, right? They had enough sense to know that the Creator was everywhere, and they definitely knew the Creator was up high, so they had their eyes and head tilt back, and their eyes looking straight up to the sky. That's how it was for me. Man, I'm telling you, I danced my ass off. I danced so damn hard, people was damn hollering in the background, telling me to go, 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 get it, get it, get it, get it. The guys that brought me out there was saying, Disco Dog, because my nickname was Moon Dog. He took off the moon and started saying, Disco Dog, Disco Dog, Disco Dog. I danced myself into another atmosphere. When I got tired of dancing, I was all tired, sweaty, and I walked outside, come to find out they had a pier where you could go walk so far out, and they had ducks on the pier, right? I walked out there and I saw a lady, a woman out there by herself, and I asked her how she was doing and what was going on, and she told me she didn't smoke cigarettes, and it got a little smoky for her, so she had to step out and get some fresh air, but she was enjoying herself. And I introduced myself to her, and we talked for about 20 minutes, and we changed phone numbers, right? That's when I really started realizing that game that them OG inmates anointed me with, right, actually worked, because I was able to talk to the woman and get the damn phone number. And then the only thing stopped me from talking to her more than 10 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever. I can't recall how long, but I talked to her for a minute, right? I'm talking about minutes. Was when the guys came out looking for me. This is EJ signing out. Peace. You cool, man. I try to